What's going on, guys, and welcome back to, I guess I would call it another tattoo lesson, I would say, almost. Like, at least trying to teach what I have learned and what other people have taught me through tattooing. And for this one, the easiest, like, apart from general shading, like in here, the next thing I think that would be important to learn is color packing. So I'm going to be working just with this square, and really it should be a quick video because there isn't much to actually say about color packing. So for this I'll be using only the 23 curved mag from Easy Tattoo in my CNCWE, probably running it around 7 volts. I go back and forth sometimes, like depending on the skin, depending on how I'm using it. I'll hop between like, say, between like 6 to like 7.5. So that's generally a range I could use, but I generally try to keep it around 7. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go into it and just go, because you're not going to put anything into the skin. If you go too fast and at too high of an angle, you're not going to deposit really any ink into the skin and not get any coverage. Like, I'll do it again to show, but like, if you go really quick with it, see, you have, it might be a bit hard to see, but you just have so many lines going through it that you can just see where your tattoo machine missed. I was also holding it a bit too high, so it wasn't as good at covering the area. So what you need to do, tilt your machine a bit more. I try to keep around 45, like that. Get a good stretch, and when you go into it, tight circles progressing forward. And even this can be a bit too fast. Like, I can probably say, yeah, there's still, with me going that slow, there's still a few spots where there are gaps in between my thing, but in between my saturated spots there's still gaps, so even going that slow can be too fast. So that's why it does take time to actually do it. Go even slower. I would say especially try and like get as close you can to the edge of the last spot you tattooed, and try and overlap your shades or your color packing so that you don't have any weird seams in it. But like, try and keep it a little bit on a tilt, moving this way. Still keep a good stretch on it. If you can get your spots saturated within 1 or 2 passes, that's probably the best thing. Now fill in this last piece again, get a good stretch. Start right at the edge, keep your machine tilted, nice 45. Go as slow as you can. It's more about matching hand speed to your machine speed, like always. The same way for lining, the same way for everything else to turn out more properly is matching your current machine speed to your hand speed. And that can be something that you can struggle with. I know it's not much to see because it's literally just a black square, but like, just try and keep that going that way. even in this, you can still see that like there was a bit of separation between my saturated spots. Like like you can see where the seams of mine were. So like you can try and go back and fill in to try and match them a bit better. But a lot of times that is just how it is for me for fake skin, because real skin, it goes in a little bit easier. Obviously that's dependent on the skin as well, but is essentially all you gotta do is like, you can go a little bit faster as well when you already put down like your base layer of color, and then if you need to go back and do like what I would call like a touch-up pass of spots, like going back and like noticing what you need to fill back in, and just do little spots like that. It isn't much to color packing, like it's just tedious and can be one of the slowest parts, if I'm honest, about tattooing is doing the color packing, because in order to get like an even, smooth color going across the entire way, then you need to take time and really go slow with it going into it. But that's basically it. What I would recommend is essentially just to practice it, just basically do that. Like the same way that I told you to practice doing like shading techniques and stuff, is just fill, like if you have like a skin that's like a normal paper size, like 8.5 by 11, just fill that up with squares and just start filling them in one by one, trying to fix, like, self-teaching can be hard, where you need to figure out what you've done wrong in it, but after a while you will start to like get used to it and like start to figure out what you're doing wrong. Like one thing I can tell you I already did wrong on this one is a little, like right about here, a little chunk of skin got taken out, because that spot once I started getting close to this line, I started slowing down more, and it started eating up the skin a little bit more and took the tiny part out of it. So when I go back to do it again, I know that when doing that, not to slow down that much, keep my speed consistent going across the entire way. And when starting, I would suggest as well, start with black, because black is going to be the easiest one for you to tell what you've done wrong in it, like whether or not you have it well saturated or not, and it'll also be the easier one to fully saturate. I do feel like as you go along the like scale of like once you start at black and then start going up to your different shades and colors, it will get harder and harder to fully saturate the lighter the tone of the ink is. That's why I would say ink or white is probably the hardest to put in, and a lot of times the like most painful part, because you just have to hammer that in to like hopefully make it stick for a while, because it's always one of the first to go is the white. But that's basically all I have for you. Just start putting some black squares into spaces and start practicing your color packing. If you guys have learned anything from this, I do hope that you like and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments below, and I think I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.